Today we're gonna start with nobody else but Kemi Badenoch. I hope that's how you say your last name, by the way. For any of you who wouldn't know who she is currently the conservative leader in the Conservative Party in the UK. She's a Nigerian woman who was born in Nigeria, and I think she moved to the UK with her parents when she was a little bit younger. And she's grown in politics and become somewhat of a leader, not somewhat. She's become a leader in the conservative movement or conservative party in the UK. And then I think every Nigerian should be proud of her, because this is not an easy feat. Obviously, it's not something easy to especially being a person of color, right? Going to the UK and breaking barriers and becoming a leader in the Conservative Party. So shout out to Kemi, man. Shout out to Kemi. My thing is this: I have some reservations about her as well. Being the leader of that movement or that party or whatever, right? But before I go into my reservations or my comments, let's talk about why I'm talking about her today. She's been in the news, especially in the Nigerian news, mostly talking about the corruption in Nigeria, especially in the police, in the politics and all that good stuff. And she's received a lot of mixed reactions. Some people support what she says, some people don't support what she says. Even it has even led to the vice president of the country, Kashim Shetima, to also come on some platform and make a comment about her, which I'm going to play a video, by the way, of what the vice president had to say about her as well, with regards to what she also said about Nigeria. But before I do any of those, what I'm going to do here is share my screen and just read a little bit about her, and then just so we can get to know about her, and then we can get into what it is that we have for today. Okay. I struggle with this every day, trying to share my screen, right? I'm live here. I should know what I'm doing, but somehow you would think so. You would think I know what I'm doing, but I've done over 100 episodes so far, I guess, right? I've done over 100 episodes, but still I struggle to figure out what I'm doing. But hey, let's get into this for today, right? All right. So we have here Kemi Badenoch, and her full name is Olukemi Olufunto Adegoke Badenoch. Born January 2, 1980, is a British politician who has served as a leader of the opposition and the leader of the Conservative Party since November 2024, the first black person to hold those offices. She previously served in the cabinet under Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak from 2022 to 2024. She has been a member of the cabinet. No, she has been a member of parliament for North West Essex, previously Saffron Walden, since 2017. Okay, she's been in politics for a long time. I mean, obviously, you can't just become a politician today and become a leader of the party, right? I mean, yeah, but let's keep going. In 2012, Badenoch unsuccessfully contested a seat in the London Assembly, but became a member of the London Assembly after Victoria Borwick was elected as an MP in 2015. A supporter of Brexit in 2016 referendum, Badenoch was elected to the House of Commons at the 2017 general election. After Boris Johnson became Prime Minister in July 2019, Badenoch was appointed Parliamentary Under Secretary of State for Children and Families. In the February 2020 reshuffle, she was appointed Exchequer Secretary to the Treasury and Parliamentary Under Secretary of State for Equalities. In September 2021, she was promoted to Minister of State for Equalities and appointed Minister of State for Local Government, Faith and Communities. In July 2022, Badenoch resigned from government in protest at Johnson's leadership. She stood unsuccessfully to replace him in the July to September 2022 party leadership election. After Liz Truss was appointed Prime Minister, in September 2022, Badenoch was appointed Secretary of State for International Trade and President of the Board of Trade, and was appointed to the Privy Council. She was reappointed Trade Secretary by Truss's successor, Rishi Sunak, the following month, also becoming Minister for Women and Equalities. In February 2023, In February 2023, cabinet reshuffle, Badenoch assumed the position of Secretary of State for Business and Trade, following the merging of Department for International Trade with elements of the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. I mean, she's been in politics for a long time, right? It's just what it is. She was born 2nd January 1980 in Wimbledon. Oh, she was born in London, actually. She was born 2nd January 1980 in Wimbledon, London. Her mother had traveled from Nigeria to UK to give birth in St. Teresa's private hospital before the British Nationality Act 1981 abolished automatic birthright citizenship for those born in the United Kingdom, and then returned to Nigeria shortly after Badenoch was born. She's one of 3 children born to Nigerian Yoruba parents. Okay, she was actually born in the UK. This is interesting to know, actually. I guess that's how she got her citizenship, because if she was born 1980 and then the British Nationality Act of 1981 was abolished in 1981, obviously, then she was born just right before it was abolished, But yeah, I mean, early career, let's see. She initially worked in the IT sector, first as a software engineer, and then her political career. I think I've gone over this already in the introduction about her. Hey, there's not a there's she's a big deal. It's just what it is, right? When it comes to being very educated, and working very hard to get to the leadership position that she currently holds. So shout out to her for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody can be mad at that kind of resume, right? So, and every Nigerian, as a matter of fact, should be very proud of her. That's another thing that I just have to call out there. But besides all of this, she's been making the news for a specific story or news or whatever, right? And that I'm going to play here, and then I get into my own comment about why she's in the news. I'm going to grab that video here in 1 second, and then I think there's a few stories, not just one story, right? No, not just one video, by the way. But I'm going to play this one real quick, and then we go from there.
But remember, my experience with the police in Nigeria was very negative. And coming to the UK, my first experience with the police was very positive. The police in Nigeria would rob us. So when people say, "Oh, I had this bad experience with the police because I'm black and they're white," I was like, "Well," I remember the police stole my brother's shoes and his watch.
His shoes?
Yeah, they took his shoes and his watch. It's a very poor country, so people do all sorts of things, and giving people a gun is just a license to intimidate. But that's not the bar we should use for British police. Obviously, it should be much higher. But my experience was so positive. When I was burgled, for example, the police were there, very helpful. They eventually caught the persons. It's 2004, so 20 years ago, the police did catch criminals, and now we've given them too much to do, in my view. So the police are the first line of defense for everything. And I think that burden makes it a lot harder for them to actually do the basics. And that's another thing that we need to look at. Let them destroy us.
Do you trust the British police?
Absolutely. This is just one of those videos. And then I'm going to share another video here. I think I had a few other videos where she was making these allegations or whatever, right, about the Nigerian politics and the police and all that good stuff. But here's another one. Actually, I think I have one here. Nope, this is just a post. Let me see. I'm gonna stop sharing this for 1 second and trying to find that video real quick. Yeah, all the stories you were seeing there, by the way, all those stories are things that I would like to talk about or speak on today. So it's just what it is, right? All right. I don't think I can find that other one. So All right, I can't find it for now, so I'm not gonna waste any further ado or further time looking for that one. But hey, any Nigerian or any well-meaning Nigerian, in my opinion, should totally, be proud of this woman because again, whether you like it or not, she's putting Nigeria on the news again or in the news again. Whether it's a positive, they say any publicity is publicity, good or bad, is publicity. So here's the thing: if you're a well-meaning Nigerian, she is putting Nigeria in the news, whether you like it or not. And for that reason, calling out the corruption and in the police and in the political space, right? She's calling all these things out in the public. And the UK obviously is a very big state, it's a big state, right? This is a first world country we're talking about here, and she's the leader of the conservative movement. So if she's out here doing interviews and talking about Nigeria in those interviews, for me it's a win because I want the best for the country as well. So if she's calling out these corrupt politicians, obviously they're going to fight back. Obviously they're going to come back. I had a video here where the vice president was saying some things, but for some reason I can't find it. It's a very interesting video where the vice president was saying things like Nigeria is going to overtake the US as the most populous nation in the world. Like that's something to celebrate about. Why are you celebrating being the most populous nation in the world when there's over 90% of that population is in poverty? So why is that something to celebrate? Why is that something to be proud of? And you want me to be proud of that? I just think it's just ignorance. And these politicians, they live in a whole different world, and that's why they don't see anything differently, right? It's just a shame. And you go to the comment section, you see people saying, "Oh, she's going to need Nigeria. She's going to need Nigeria." Like, in what space, in what year and time is she ever going to need Nigeria or Nigeria? Right? Here's someone on, I think this would be Twitter, right? He said there's no scenario where Kemi Badenoch will need Nigeria. Absolutely none. I can't think of any either, right? I can't think of any either. You people overestimate your importance. The only people Nigeria has helped are thieves. Period. That's what it is. I mean, I don't see anybody, it's thieves that are thriving, and mostly thieves are thriving in that country. Thieves, and these thieves are the politicians. The regular people are suffering in poverty. They can't get no jobs. They can't get no basic amenities, right? Are you out here telling me about Nigeria overtaking the US in population in 2050? Like, we should be proud of that. Isn't that some ridiculous stuff to talk about, right? Isn't that some very ridiculous stuff to talk about? Hey, it's just very interesting, right? I find it very interesting. Let's read some of the comments here, and I think we're just going to move on to the next story on this one for sure. But here I say it's sad to see so many careless and funny comments in this section. You still don't get it, do you? Yes, we respect your decision if you don't want to associate with Nigeria. There are many people, including athletes, doctors, and professors, who have chosen to distance themselves. That's fine. But here's the thing: the same Nigeria you don't want to associate with is the one you constantly drag and put down. The truth is, we don't understand the repercussions of these actions. Many of you dream of going abroad, but the very people you run to exploit your intelligence and leave you drained, yet instead of addressing real issues, you keep tearing down Nigeria. Here's the funny part. Some of those complaining about the state of the country are part of the reason it's this way. You love shortcuts. Whether it's getting jobs, money, or fame, you dodge taxes but demand a working system. You work in a bank but hold cash to resell it. When you get in trouble, you want to bribe your way out. Let's be real. We as a people want the country to stay like this because it enables bad behavior. You're not contributing to anything meaningful, yet you want to enjoy all the benefits of a functioning system. It's disgusting. Change starts with us. No one is coming to save us if we keep acting this way. Hey man, I agree. Favor Ayokusa. I agree with the ending of your statement, the way you ended your comment. I agree with that a lot of Nigerians love shortcuts and would rather Nigeria stay the way it is so they can, keep bending the rules and getting away with stuff. I 100% agree with you on that one. But when you say that tearing down the country and dragging the country down, I don't agree with that one at all. Like, because it's not necessarily, you can call it tearing down. I mean, that's one way to see it. But it's all, for me, it's one way of putting the country in the news, putting these politicians in the news because they don't like it. It gets on their nerves. They want to be hidden. They want to be in the dark where they can do all this criminality, stealing, thieving, all that stuff. They want to do it in the dark where nobody sees it, nobody talks about it. So you can call it tearing down and dragging down. That's okay. That's one way to see it. But for me personally, I don't see it that way. For me, it's publicity, putting these guys on the spotlight because they don't like it. But when you put them on the spotlight, hopefully they're going to do better, right? At least that's how I see it. But hey, if you guys disagree with what I'm saying, I mean, I would like to hear what your thoughts are on this situation. You know, if Kemi Badenoch is, just tearing down the country. Hey, my opinion is I don't think she's tearing down the country. I think she's putting Nigeria in the news, and that's a good thing. That's a win for well-meaning Nigerians. And with that, I'm just going to move to the next story that I have here because I've dwelled a lot on this one.